Proverbs Chapter 26. Like snow in summer and like rain in harvest, so honor is not fitting for a fool. Like the sparrow in its fluttering, like the swallow in its flying, so a curse without cause does not alight. A whip for the horse, a bridle for the donkey, and a rod for the back of fools. Do not answer a fool according to his folly, lest you also be like him. Answer a fool according to his folly, lest he be wise in his own eyes. He who sends a message by the hand of a fool cuts off his own feet and drinks violence. Like the legs of the lame which hang down, so is a proverb in the mouth of fools. Like one who binds a stone in a sling, so is he who gives honor to a fool. Like a thorn that goes up into the hand of a drunkard, so is a proverb in the mouth of fools. Like an archer who wounds everyone, so is he who hires a fool or who hires those who pass by. Like a dog that returns to its vomit is a fool who repeats his folly. Do you see a man who is wise in his own eyes? There is more hope for a fool than for him. The sluggard says, "There is a roaring lion on the way, a lion is in the streets." As the door turns upon its hinges, so does the sluggard upon his bed. The sluggard buries his hand in the dish, he gets weary by bringing it to his mouth again. The sluggard is wiser in his own eyes than 7 men who can answer discreetly. He who passes by and meddles with strife that does not belong to him, is like one who takes a dog by the ears. Like a madman who shoots firebrands, arrows, and death. So is the man who deceives his neighbor, and says, "Was I not joking?" For lack of wood the fire goes out, and where there is no whisperer, contention quiets down. As charcoal to hot embers and wood to fire, so is a contentious man to kindle strife. The words of a whisperer are like dainty morsels, and they go down into the innermost parts of the inner being. Burning lips and a wicked heart are like an earthen vessel overlaid with silver dross. He who hates disguises it with his lips, but he lays up deceit within him. When he speaks graciously, do not believe him, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. Though his hatred covers itself with guile, his wickedness will be revealed before the assembly. Whoever digs a pit will fall into it, and he who rolls a stone, it will come back on him. A lying tongue hates those it crushes, and a flattering mouth works ruin. Proverbs Chapter 27. Do not boast about tomorrow, for you do not know what a day may bring forth. Let another praise you, and not your own mouth, a foreigner, and not your own lips. A stone is heavy, and the sand weighty, but a fool's vexation is heavier than both of them. Wrath is cruel, and anger is overwhelming, but who can stand before jealousy? Open rebuke is better than love that is hidden. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are profuse. The full soul loathes a honeycomb, but to the hungry soul every bitter thing is sweet. Like a bird that wanders from her nest, so is a man who wanders from his place. Oil and perfume rejoice the heart, so a man's counsel is sweet to his friend. Do not forsake your own friend or your father's friend to go to your brother's house in the day of your calamity. Better is a neighbor who is near than a brother far away. My son, be wise, and make my heart glad, that I may answer him who reproaches me. A prudent man sees evil and hides himself, but the simple pass on and suffer punishment for it. Take the garment of him who is surety for a stranger, and hold one in pledge who is surety for a foreign woman. He who blesses his friend with a loud voice, arousing him early in the morning, it will be reckoned as a curse to him. A continual dripping on a very rainy day and a contentious woman are alike. He who would restrain her restrains the wind, and grasps oil with his right hand. Iron sharpens iron, so a man sharpens the countenance of his friend. Whoever tends a fig tree will eat its fruit, and he who takes care of his master will be honored. As in water face reflects face, so the heart of man reflects man. Sheol and Abaddon are never satisfied, and the eyes of man are never satisfied. The refining pot is for silver and the furnace for gold, and a man is tried by the praise given him. Though you pound a fool in a mortar with a pestle along with crushed grain, his folly will not depart from him. Know well the condition of your flocks, and pay attention to your herds. For riches are not forever, nor does a crown endure from generation to generation. Then when the grass has disappeared, and the tender grass is seen, and the herbs of the mountains have been gathered in. The lambs will be for your clothing, and the goats will bring the price of a field. And there will be goats' milk enough for your food, for the food of your household, and for the sustenance for your maidens. Proverbs Chapter 28. The wicked flee when no man pursues, but the righteous are as bold as a lion. When a land revolts, it has many rulers, but by him who has understanding and knowledge it endures. A destitute man who oppresses the poor is like a driving rain which leaves no food. Those who forsake the law praise the wicked, but those who keep the law contend with them. Evil men do not understand justice, but those who seek Jehovah understand all things. Better is a poor man who walks in his integrity than he who is perverse in his ways though he is rich. Whoever keeps the law is an understanding son, but he who is a companion of gluttons shames his father. He who increases his substance by interest and usury gathers it for him who is gracious to the poor. He who turns away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer is an abomination. Whoever causes the upright to go astray in an evil way will himself fall into his own pit, but the perfect will inherit good. The rich man is wise in his own conceit, but the poor man who has understanding searches him out. When the righteous triumph, there is great glory, but when the wicked rise, men hide themselves. He who covers his transgressions will not prosper, but whoever confesses and forsakes them will obtain mercy. Blessed is the man who always fears, but he who hardens his heart will fall into calamity. Like a roaring lion and a roving bear is a wicked ruler over a poor people. The ruler who lacks understanding is also a great oppressor, but he who hates unjust gain will prolong his days. A man who is burdened with a person's blood will be a fugitive until death, let no man support him. Whoever walks uprightly will be delivered, but he who is perverse in his ways will fall all at once. He who tills his land will have plenty of bread, but he who pursues worthless things will have plenty of poverty. A faithful man will abound with blessings, but he who makes haste to be rich will not go unpunished. To have respect of persons is not good, because for a piece of bread a man will transgress. A man who is envious hastens after wealth, and does not know that want will come upon him. He who rebukes a man will afterward find more favor than he who flatters with the tongue. Whoever robs his father or his mother and says, "It is no transgression," is the companion of a man who destroys. A greedy person stirs up contention, but he who trusts in Jehovah will prosper. He who trusts in his own heart is a fool, but he who walks wisely will be delivered. He who gives to the poor man will not lack, but he who shuts his eyes will have many curses. When the wicked rise, men hide themselves, but when they perish, the righteous increase.